Oh shit, we're live.
Yeah, we're live,
oh,
man.
Shit.
Yeah, we're live, man.
Why would you
was
do
a way
that?
to show respect to the audience and respect your own business. It was a way to protect you.
Yo, tune it. It's too.
Ladies and gentlemen, heels and faces, casual wrestling fans, and all you smart marks, I am Mr. Richie Moon.
And I'm AJ.
And I'm Kayfabe Focus.
And this is the Kayfabe Bath Livecast.
The podcast.
Or the Kayfabe Bath Podcast.
That's the live cast.
I don't know, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we're figuring it out. We're just doing a little bit of adjusting here.
A little technical difficulties.
Yeah, not even technical difficulties, man. We just,
Just a
you
little.
know what I'm saying?
Adjust a little bit.
Yeah,
You
just
know what,
adjusting.
let's let them remind them where we are.
Well,
Huh.
I got a song. You guys want to hear a song? You guys want to hear a
Are
song?
we talking songs?
Oh, we're talking songs.
Are we talking songs?
Do we have to dim the lights and put a spotlight on you?
No, man, no. That's lights is perfect. No, I ain't gonna put on my hoodie.
Ladies and gentlemen. Richie Moon.
Ever since Moon's baby left him, he needed a new place to crash.
Absolutely, undoubtedly, unquestionably, 100% completely suck.
See what they do me? See what they do me? They ain't let me finish getting like a little bit. They ain't even. I'm just gonna sit here. I'm just gonna sit here and just look.
Wow.
Alright, well, while he sits and thinks about that
Ever
singing-
since Moon's baby left him, he needed a new place to crash. He went to the SmackDown Hotel and said it's off of Kayfabe Ave. Yeah! Woo! Oh my God, I know you loved it. Hold your applause. Stop it. Hold your applause. Hold your applause. All right? Hold your applause. You have to leave me. You love that song. You love that song. Everybody loved that song.
Alright, well,
I'm confused right now. What are we doing now?
I think that's
I was giving you guys a classic
like,
platinum
I
hit
think that's the
song.
most soundbites used in the beginning of a show
I think.
so far, but
Great.
what do we have next?
Ladies and gentlemen, I have some good news and I have some bad news.
Let's have some decor.
I think the good news is that it's unveiled the greatest song of all time. And then we also have wrestling news too.
Yeah, we have wrestling news. More importantly, we have wrestling news. So, with the recent shakeup and everything that's going on in Raw and SmackDown and just WWE in general, Vince McMahon showed up this week to Raw to talk about the state of things.
Chance.
You know, everything's TV ratings been in a decline. A lot of fans have been complaining about, you know, the storylines and the content, the matches, the win results, the absent champions, the absent management, everything. It was addressed this week, and as a result of that, we have some NXT call-ups.
Okay. Who
So,
are they?
that's a good question. Let me see.
You got there you go.
Yeah, I got him.
You got it. I
him.
can say it if you want.
I mean, you know them. Straight
Lars
up.
Sullivan was one of
Oh,
those.
he's lurking. Hold on. Lars Sullivan's
lurking.
lurking. Hold on, he's lurking. He's
Yeah,
lurking.
We have Lars Sullivan.
He's probably
Who's
looking
lurking?
through our window
He's
right
probably
now.
looking right next. He's lurking. Lars is lurking.
Yeah, why is he always lurking?
I don't know.
What's wrong with that guy?
I'm lurking. I'm lurking right now.
Lurk your ass straight to the
I
break.
think, is he peeping Tom?
He is a peeping Tom. He's a freak. He
He
is a freak. I'm saying he is a freak. He is a freak. Their words, not ours.
Besides Lars, we have Lacey Evans.
Woman's right.
We
That's
have
right, he's lurking.
Nikki Cross, which I'm very excited about. No brainer. Throw her on SmackDown. Put her back in Sanity. Sanity's 100%.
There's some rumors saying that they might actually keep her away from Sanity.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Why?
You never know. Just like
Never know. Exactly.
It
Never
worked
know.
out for Carmella.
Tell me that's not
That should
true.
be. Yeah, they work on
And
Carmella.
if so,
I mean, it did work out. Nah, it did
It
work
worked
out
out for Carmella.
It did. It did.
It worked out for Carmella.
It did work out for Carmella, but Sanity needs her. I feel like she was the.
Well, we'll see how the.
Well, I mean,
they've recently been on SmackDown.
We'll talk about SmackDown.
Yeah,
we'll
so
get to that.
maybe they don't. But right now, yeah, probably they do. But you know.
So we have Nikki Cross, Heavy Machinery, and
Takes away.
Heavy Machinery actually confirmed on Twitter that they're gonna be joining SmackDown.
But they also confirmed that I mean, did they confirm? Cause
Yeah, they said we're SmackDown bound.
Because they said they was going to Raw too.
I didn't see that tweet.
When they played their thing on Raw, like the promo package for the people coming up, one of the guys tweeted that they're going to Raw, and then they tweeted going to SmackDown too.
Oh, so I don't know.
Yeah, a little trickery.
All right, I didn't see that part.
A little
so
trickery.
Heavy Machinery playing with our minds on Twitter. That's a new.
They probably don't know where they're going.
And let's not save the best for last.
What?
EC3, exactly. And that's where my news leads, actually. It's a EC3. And we have Dixie Carter actually commenting on EC3's call-up. And it was a funny thing she said. She pretty much along the lines congratulated EC3 and congratulated WWE for even having EC3.
Yeah.
I think he's a guy that should win.
So I feel like it's a little like bittersweet for her. She kind of showed her.
I mean, she's done. It's not like she's involved with wrestling anymore.
No, she's not. But you know, that still gotta leave a little sour note that all the stars that she pretty much helped build over the past years are in WWE right now.
Yeah.
So Dixie congratulates EC3. Congrats to all the NXT call-ups. I think it was a little too soon, and that's another news topic.
For who?
They actually, all the NXT call-ups that they announced, they actually were supposed to be pulled up down the line in January, February.
EC3 was supposed to get called up after a takeover, but got the concussion. EC3 should have went straight to the main roster.
He should have went straight to the main roster, but I'm glad he did it because we got that great 6-man ladder match. So go check that out. I forgot what takeover it was, but it was for the inaugural NXT North American Championship.
It's gonna bother me now. I think it was.
Well, check it out. This is one of the recent takeovers, the first match for the actual NXT North American Championship. So the NXT call-ups were actually supposed to be pulled out a little bit down the line, and I feel like they should have waited on announcing those call-ups for the simple fact, just because you're doing a shake-up doesn't mean we need call-ups.
Yeah,
we want a shake-up in terms of different production style, different segments, different people in the spots, people we actually want in those positions.
I miss the days when SmackDown and Raw used to look completely different. Like they look the same, just with
that would be a big shift.
It would be.
Even the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
I miss Backlash with the swinging.
Remember how we were at Evolution? Evolution looked so much different. The only thing they did was just cut the lights down. And just gave them a little entrance, and just that was just like, oh, it's different.
Yeah, so I want production.
You don't need call-ups. I think the women need call-ups.
You know what? I think we need an experience.
We definitely, and speaking of that,
I actually disagree with that.
Speaking of that,
I disagree with that.
Velveteen actually tweeted and then deleted a lot of tweets when he heard about the call-ups and he didn't get the call-up. He pretty much was like, call me up, Vince, and
I don't think he should be called up.
Pretty much telling the universe, WWE universe, that they should hashtag call Dream up. I don't know. I'm one of those that I want to see Dream in one of those positions.
If Dream gonna call up, if Dream gonna be called up, I certainly don't want Velveteen Dream given the experience with a group of people. No. Velveteen Dream needs to be built up special.
Yeah.
One. And two, I honestly think I like Velveteen in ring. I think he still needs some time in ring down in NXT. SummerSlam. Well, give him his own boom. Give him his own thing. He needs his own.
He's been campaigning for the better part of a year, actually, trying to get noticed by Vince and trying to get on the main roster. So
who knows? Maybe Royal Rumble.
You know,
Royal Rumble's a great time.
Outside of the actual episodes that we get to see week in and week out, a lot of that is taped. So they actually put in a lot more time being down in Florida and being relegated to just the performance center and Full Sail where they
do
take
it all in one
NXT. So
thing.
I could see Dream's been with WWE since Tough Enough. The last season of Tough Enough, which was what, 2013.
I'm not sure if Dream remembers that or recalls that or maybe has a little amnesia.
Dream has no memory of that.
But he was on Tough Enough, even if he doesn't remember. He was on Tough Enough. That was about 2012, 2013. So that's a lot of years being developed. That's a lot of years being in NXT. So I understand his frustration.
Yeah, but I think he deserved, when he gets called up, Velveteen Dream needs his own special.
Spotlight.
Needs his own spotlight. It's Velveteen Dream. You gotta give him his own spotlight.
His own segments and all of that.
He needs all that. He needs the whole build up.
He can be the modern Goldust and actually take it further.
Take it further. Absolutely.
He's like Prince, you know.
Yeah.
He can do it. I believe him. Next up is congratulations to Leo Rush and Sarah Logan. They both married their respective.
Oh yeah, I seen that. They got married in Vegas, right?
I think they got married the same day on Friday. But Sarah Logan's wedding was like a Viking style.
Yeah, I seen that.
Very cool. They have a whole bunch of pictures up.
You know who Leo Rush ran into the day he got married?
And all that.
He ran into D'Lo Brown the day he got married.
Who?
Leo Rush. He posted a picture with D'Lo Brown. It was like the caption was something like, "Hey, you're the guy with the cool frog splash," and he was like, "No, I got my cool frog splash from you." So that was cool. That was cool.
Oh, I always did love Dino's frog splash.
Messing with the real deal now.
I think him, Eddie, and RVD, the best frog splashes in wrestling period.
Love RVD. Oh, 5-star. Man.
So congratulations to them. Moving on. Ring of Honor is also joining the wave of trying to snatch people up.
Yep.
WWE's been heavily recruiting, and Ring of Honor just signed Bandito and Mark Haskins. Now Bandito was in the main event of All In. I'm not too familiar with Mark Haskins.
I'm not too familiar with Mark Haskins either.
So,
I know Bandito is.
Let's see how that turns out.
Bandito. Just go YouTube Bandito, man. He was in the main event of All In with the Golden Elite and Rey Mysterio and Bandito.
The match was rushed because they were running out of time.
Yo, they got it 3 seconds left.
Within 3 seconds. So it was a really quick match, but it was a really dope match.
One day. We're gonna cover All In one day.
Just watch All In.
One day.
The whole All In was good.
Maybe for like the year anniversary.
Well, speaking of situations like All In, that's another event we didn't get to go to. It happened on my birthday. The Cruise of Jericho, and he announced that the Cruise of Jericho 2 is officially happening. So last time the Cruise of Jericho, if you don't know, had TNA. It had it had Impact. It had Ring of Honor. It had New Japan, and they got to sneak in WWE by having Rey Mysterio already booked before he returned to the roster. So we literally had every single promotion in wrestling,
King was there.
Major promotion in wrestling represented on the Cruise of Jericho. History making, great match. The Alpha Club versus
the last time they went by the
Bullet Club.
Last time they went by the Bullet Club.
Great match, 3-on-3. It was good. Watch that.
That whole thing was dope. That's when they announced they were officially.
I hope it's on my birthday again. Hopefully I can pull that out. And
yo,
actually
that's
be on
a
that
goal.
next year.
That's a goal. Like that and the Cruise of Jericho and WrestleMania are my wrestling goals for next year.
Listen, I was trying to do it, and I literally had no one that was like either had the ability to go or was like. I wanted to go to something like that. A lot of people were like, what?
That's amazing.
A wrestling cruise, like, we're gonna be in the fucking Bahamas, man. We're gonna be in the
Bahamas.
Bahamas.
Wrestling.
We're gonna see legends. We're gonna see
live
wrestling.
Stand up. It's a cruise.
Stand up, yoga.
It doesn't matter if you're not into
bar.
you don't have to like wrestling at all. You're on a cruise.
Yeah, exactly. You're on a cruise. You're the Bahamas.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're lounging on the beach chair.
Exactly.
So
guys,
I unfortunately I had no one who was.
Those guys sound like a bunch of
that,
dumbasses.
So maybe next year, which now is guaranteed.
It's happening. Yes.
So
what else we got news? What else is
we have more WWE interacting with other promotions. We have Gargano confirmed to work the next Evolve, which is Evolve 120, and he's facing Austin Theory. not too familiar with Austin Theory.
Austin Theory is also the new Evolve champion. Beat Fabian. I can't remember the guy's name, but Fabian was a. I don't even know why they put him as a champion. Nobody really knew.
So this correction to one of the last videos. Street Profits are the Evolve tag team champions.
Yeah.
So more interaction with other indie promotions.
More.
WWE's trying to broaden their range. So we have that going on. We have the Young Bucks confirming that they're not going to show up at MSG. So unfortunately, a lot of people I know wanted to go to G1 specifically to see Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, Cody.
I had it fantasy.
They're not going to be there.
I had a fantasy booked in my head. Omega's gonna lose at Wrestle Kingdom to Tanahashi. They're gonna have the rematch at MSG. He's gonna win it. Big crowd. The Elite's gonna come out. It's gonna be whole goodbye, good night. The Elite's gonna be out there. It's gonna be Bullet Club Nation out there. Nope.
It's not happening.
Not happening.
So no Elite.
Everything changed.
That's already
everything.
Cody confirmed it at Final Battle in his last match for Ring of Honor.
Such a heel. I love Cody. I love Cody.
Now
if I cared about you, I'd be at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, pretty much. So heel shit, I love it. But
more of that.
No Elite at the G1.
More
so
I like that.
I mean, people should still go enjoy that. New Japan has a lot to offer.
It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a great event.
It's gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be a great event. It's gonna be a great event. It's gonna be a great event. But no Elite there.
So WWE is trying to sneak in the fact that they already have 2 book dates for Saudi Arabia. They're not learning their lesson with Crown Jewel.
They get that oil money. They don't care.
They don't care. I mean, they're stuck to a contract. I understand.
Big
You're stuck
oil
to a
money.
contract. You have to do it regardless. Not knocking that fact, but
Big
we
oil
know.
Big
we know.
oil money, people.
You have like 9
Big
more
oil
years.
money.
You have like 9 more years, right? Left with this contract.
Yeah, 10-year contract. Yep.
So
It's like,
we
yeah,
know.
9.5.
Just let us just announce the shit. So you give people time to get over their little grievances about where the location of the pay per view is.
They don't care.
So-
That's why they don't care about their opinions anymore. They only care about our opinions when ratings slip.
I just hope it's not Greatest Royal Rumble 2.
It is.
We should never have a Greatest
It's
Royal
going
Rumble.
to be the greatest ever
You
Royal Rumble this
diminish,
year.
you diminish the actual Royal Rumble. We should not have the Greatest
It's
Royal
going
Rumble
to be
2.
the greatest
Make
ever.
it a Crown Jewel 2.
It should have been the greatest Battle Royal. Well, no, the Battle Royal is different. That's why.
It should have been the greatest Survivor Series.
It should have been the largest Royal Rumble, not the greatest Royal Rumble.
Where
the largest.
well, as far as branding it to make sense. The largest
Because it was the largest Royal Rumble. Damn, Ryan went an hour. I think a damn Ryan went an hour.
I saw the statistics. It was
like
about
an
an
hour
hour and 10 minutes, I think.
Hour and 10
like
minutes.
3
So
minutes.
Crazy.
Longest ever
Yes.
in the Royal Rumble.
They
So
should just call it WWE Saudi Arabia.
word.
The Saudi Arabia, we said it. The Saudi Arabia Royal Rumble or something like that.
Yeah, the Arabian Rumble.
That's something like that. Don't call it the greatest Royal Rumble because I mean, what's in January now? The inferior Royal Rumble? I'm just saying. This is what you minuscule Royal Rumble, the small Royal Rumble, the tiny Royal Rumble.
The microscopic.
Exactly. God damn it! This is what you're telling us to.
Ant-Man, is that you?
Is that you?
He's coming in.
Quantum Burst.
Yeah, Quantum Verse. Quantum Verse Royal Rumble. Good God! This is
for your Marvel mark.
This is what you. You know. Gosh.
Put on the list.
So let's drift from that.
Yeah,
And
next thing you know, you be having
Bullet Club.
Page
Good God.
Oh man.
Paige.
So
I feel bad for Paige.
Bullet Club officially has a leader.
We didn't plan this, people. We just dress like this in real life.
Yeah.
We literally. I promise you, we don't plan this.
I didn't change.
I promise you.
I'm not wearing a real wrestling shit, so. Fuck you guys.
That's alright.
Oh, well, you have your moments.
Yeah, we're live. Hold on. Keep talking. Keep going.
So yeah,
You know what happens?
Tamatanga officially announces that.
We're live and you leave.
Oh yeah.
You know what happens?
Oh yeah. Wow. Continue.
You know what happens when your head is blocking the championship?
You know what? You leaving your seat is now canon. It's now like.
It's a list of stupid idiots.
and especially you.
What do you do?
Well,
I think he just jumps.
Tama Tonga goes on Twitter and he announces that Jay White is officially the leader of the Bullet Club, and a lot of backlash, including myself. I commented on it. It's not that I don't like Jay White, obviously I do, but I felt like Tama Tonga was the person who should have been labeled the leader. He put all the footwork before Jay White was even announced to be a part of Bullet Club.
The original.
He kicked out the Elite. He told us that he was going to bring Bullet Club back to his roots, back to what Finn Balor created, what Prince Devitt created. So I felt like he was supposed to be the leader. I understand he's in the tag team division. He made an actual good point. Jay White is direct line to the NWGP Heavyweight Championship. Him and his brothers are direct line to the tag team championships. And the other Bullet Club members can fill in the roles where needed. I get it. But storyline-wise, just for the sake of Tama Tonga and doing the footwork, this was his time. And I feel like New Japan dropped the ball in that situation. As far as, Jay White is going to shine. He's going to do him, regardless. He's already in a position where you feel different.
I feel different because I feel like Tama Tonga didn't want to be the leader. I think that
I don't think so. I don't think so either.
He did that because he didn't want Kenny Omega or Cody to fight over leadership, because it never was about being the leader of anything. It was just a bunch of guys who would just like to hang around each other and do heel tactics and such. But then they like, oh, I'm the leader, or then I'm the leader of this and such.
And one of the things that also changed with the Bullet Club was they became faces. They got so cool that everybody just started cheering for them.
People even called him out on the fact that he said there's no leader. People called him out. He's like, oh, I said there's no leader. There's no leader of the club. You said there's no leader. Well, he said that then, and then they brought in Jay White. So
I mean, when Jay White came in, he was saying that he wasn't the leader as well. Maybe there was maybe from the fact that he beat Okada and Tanahashi 7 times in a row. Maybe that's what.
And he has a victory.
Tama.
And he has a victory over.
Victories.
And he has a victory over Omega this year.
Tag team ups, dream matches.
Yeah.
With Tanahashi and
That's
Okada.
a big
That promo you showed earlier between Jay White after he won at the club. After he won his last match against them, it was really good. And he alluded like, "This is your dream match. This is the best that New Japan has to offer as far as dream matches go. Your dream team up, and I beat them all." So that was a good promo.
You were all like,
So
believe.
It's the cutthroat era for a reason.
I was seeing what
I see what this Switchblade.
Oh, minute, yeah. So he looks like Balor. He looks like Devitt. He looks like Omega.
He sounds like Devitt. Matter of fact, it was Devitt was one of the guys who tried to bring him into the New Japan dojo back in the day.
Back in the day.
I mean, he does have a long history as far as him being around the Bullet Club.
No, he does, definitely does.
Because
he was because it was in New Zealand. He sent them over to the dojo with Bad Luck Fale. So yeah,
I just don't like the comparisons with him and Kenny. Not Kenny.
I don't like the comparisons either.
With Finn Balor.
I don't like the comparisons
either. I don't like it at all
because he's not there yet.
Completely different styles
and he's not there. He hasn't reached his prime yet. Omega and
promo
Balor
style,
have reached their prime.
Everything like Finn Balor's his own person, man.
Yeah.
That's the big shoes you're trying to fill.
And
be your own person before you say I'm him. I'm equal to him.
I don't like the R&R 2.0. I don't like that.
Yeah, so
I don't like that. No, I don't like that.
There's only one real rock and roller.
Only real rock and roller. So yeah, I'm not down with that whole.
So
but I do like Jay White as a leader though. I do like what they're doing.
I mean, he got the look.
I would have
to be the leader.
I would have preferred Tama Tonga. I see Tama Tonga didn't want that. Cause I would have booked. I think they should have both had a more significant role in the G1. But it's the whole time. I understand the whole Tanahashi thing. I would have put Tama Tonga to win the G1, man. And that's my whole feeling with the whole elite thing and all. Like they dropped. That was so anticlimactic. Like how do you just how do they just super rivalries and then just drops and then it just goes from Young Bucks to the Gorillas of Destiny like. So they attack Cody, they attack Marty, they attack Heyman. Like,
listen, I'm all for it. Just
the last match.
Just don't compare him to this man.
Is that Wrestle Kingdom? The last match they have is at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah. And it might
Not
be
Prince
it
Devitt,
might be it though.
BJ White.
But even though Cody did say that he did want to still work with New Japan, so it might not be completely over. Omega's contract is over January 31st, so there's still time to play. I think it all depends on if Omega wins or loses at Wrestle Kingdom.
No, I think his contract is up the 23rd.
For January?
If I'm not mistaken, yeah.
It's somewhere around there.
Because that's why they're still teasing that little bit with the Rumble.
There you go, man. Listen, man. They kept it in the back pocket about going one-on-one with AJ, so.
I mean, Kenny Omega,
back pocket.
yeah, Kenny Omega's been really quiet as far as what he's doing, and he hasn't really been showing up on being the elite. And,
I mean, one of the reasons is that because he does live in Japan.
Yeah, but even the segments that he was in, it alluded to maybe he will branch off from the elite and do his own thing.
Wherever he's going, Ibushi's going.
I don't think they all have to leave together at that moment. They're all still doing their thing. Doesn't mean it has to change their vision. Yeah. It's gonna take time to build up AEW if that's what they're doing.
I don't expect the first AEW show to go up to like the end of like this time next year.
I'd expect it on September, whatever date it was last year.
We'll probably see another All-In show before we see AEW. I definitely see that.
I think the next one is going to be AEW presents All-In.
All-In, Double or Nothing.
Double or Nothing.
Ooh, I can't wait.
That's one of the trademarks that they have for the.
I can't wait.
Yeah, that's one of the trademarks that they have for All Elite Wrestling. You can look it up. They have actually like 2 pay-per-view names. I forgot what the other one was.
Double or Nothing and
All
Out.
All Out.
All
Remember
Out.
that was the joke I made too.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, you're All Out." After
Out.
All In, this man was like, "I'm not watching WWE.
I was done with WWE for a while.
I'm not watching it. You cover it." And then
did I just hit?
You need a Ric Flair moment. Did you want some little Ric Flair?
Look at that guy out here hollering
My name.
When last year I spent more money on spilled liquor in bars from one side of the world to the other than you made. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kickstand, willing living like Japan, son of a gun.
I'm having a hard time keeping these alligators down. When you talk about the 4 horsemen, you are talking about the 4 greatest men that ever graced God's green earth. I had the privilege of riding up and down with the horsemen. Big city, bright lights, kissing the girls and making them cry. All right.
Who was you trying to beat?
He's doing Jay Lethal.
Jay Lethal
doing Ric Flair. You sound just like Jay Lethal.
I'm the dude.
I'm the dude playing the dude. This ass is another dude.
I'm Iron Man. I'm Iron Man if he didn't make it out. If the Iron Man suit failed, that's what he might have turned into. He might have turned into the two.
All right, so moving on, we still have news. Moving on, we have and the NXT contracts. We were discussing that. We had a little debate on one of our the episode before last, This Week of Wrestling. We were talking about how WWE is preventing people from doing other promotions outside of their UK contracts with NXT. So a little bit more clarity on how that works. They got a new signee, Walter, who actually just booked with the promotion Fight Forever. He's gonna actually go against Pac, which is Neville to people in WWE. Okay. And
Pac versus the world, man.
See,
Pac got a couple of.
They can still book. They can still book themselves for shows, but they have to make sure it's not against anybody who's contracted specifically to Ring of Honor, Impact, New Japan, and the main brands, which I completely agree with. In the sense that I love brand exclusivity. It just helps the promotion that the wrestler is under. So
and it also gives them a fresh match when that performer signs with WWE.
Right.
Or
so
if they get released and they have to fight,
Yeah, so it lets them branch out, but I understand that restriction because I wouldn't want somebody I'm booking like right now. They have. We said earlier, Gargano's gonna do something with Evolve, and Street Profits. I wouldn't want them going over and losing to like someone from Impact, and then that makes Impact's ratings go up because my champion or whoever I'm sending is losing to that person. It's brand awareness. Branding is a big thing in our culture at this point, 2018. So, I kind of understand that. There's a little bit of clarity. Stepping off of the last conversation, if you guys follow, you guys watching, if you guys follow the podcast, about 2 weeks ago we had a good discussion. Go check it out.
Yeah, it was about the UK and the restrictions and how the contracts changed, and I'll have some more news on that next week because there's some things that I heard trickling through the kayfabe streets. So I have some more news next week about that.
All right. Moving on, we have Kenny Omega has been actually doing heel work, building up to Tanahashi, and people are surprised.
It's not heel work, man.
Why people are surprised though? Tanahashi's like John Cena.
I mean, at the conference they had a conference like a month ago, and he was saying he's one of the guys that say there's no such thing as heels and faces anymore. Cody says I don't believe that. I definitely
agree.
How can Tommaso Ciampa is a goddamn heel. There's nothing different about that. There's no argument about that. There's no shades of gray about that. He's a bad man, period. AJ Styles is a face. There's no argument about that. Nothing.
But you could.
Heel
but in
face.
2018, it makes perfect sense for people to ride the
tweener.
middle.
Yeah, of course.
Ride the middle. And actually, those are the people that I feel I relate more to, because in a situation where you're fucking screwing me over, I'm not gonna be like, hey, well, I'm a face, and
we need smart faces. That's what we need smart faces.
I'll see you next time. Nah.
But with Kenny Omega, I like you saying, he was like, we're telling real life stories. You weren't about some heel and faces and you think you're a good guy. You ain't shit. Yo, Kenny Omega was cursing Tanahashi out at the conference like you ain't shit. I'm gonna beat your old ass. Omega was ruthless, yo. Omega is ruthless.
That's the Omega I like, when he's really just opening up on you. Like
he just, I can't wait for that.
Because he does amazing heel work. Promo work. I'm sorry. He does amazing promo work. So people are actually surprised. Oh my God, Kenny's heel now. No, Kenny's always been an in-betweener. And
that's the Bullet Club was.
Kenny's always been the heel technically. He's never really switched over. The only character changes he's really made was between his own group of guys. That was his major storyline this year, besides him facing Okada.
And what's really cool about the New Japan audience is there's no guarantee you're gonna go to this place and you get cheered. The New Japan audience is kind of fickle in a lot of ways. Like they'll flip on you in the middle of a match. Like the match that we didn't talk about, and the only reason why we didn't talk, I did forget about it, but we're gonna save it for our New Japan match, or our New Japan episode, is the match with Tanahashi, Will Ospreay, and the Golden Lovers. Oof. Oof.
So
5 stars.
Amazing stuff. Go back and Wrestle Kingdom's right there. It's January 4th. I can't remember. It's right around the corner.
We're gonna
catch up on all this Kenny Omega stuff.
We're definitely gonna
the whole card is fine.
Stacked. The whole card is stacked. We're definitely gonna give it its own separate space. So that's why we're not really talking about it now. But yeah.
So moving on, Impact is moving from the network Pop to Pursuit.
What?
Pursuit.
What?
Pursuit.
What?
They're moving from Pop to Pursuit.
What?
They don't.
What are these channels and where can I find them?
Oh, I do care because I like Impact.
Can anybody put the channel numbers in the comments?
I can't.
Put the channel numbers in the comments, please.
I never heard of Pursuit.
What about Pop?
This is one of the things that we've been discussing. This is one of the things that I can't stand. You need a brand that you can stick behind, that people can say, when I think Pop or I think Pursuit, I think Impact Wrestling. And their TV deals and the switching of the networks from TNN Spike that became Spike, and then from Spike to what was it? WGN or something like that.
Something like that.
Something like that, and then from there it went to Pop, and then now from Pop to Pursuit. We can't keep up. It feels like the old ECW days where I used to be like, oh my god, I finally called ECW, and then I tune in the next week, and ECW's gone.
Like, but we have other forms to access them. Because a lot of people
they're very active on YouTube. They're very active on social media. They actually been throwing a lot of their old TNA stuff. You do on the first episode of Impact, well, TNA back then, last week. It was pretty dope to go back in time. So they do social media stuff, but for people who are at home and they're expecting a broadcast network to provide their wrestling, who's Pursuit?
I don't know. I don't know Pursuit, but I think
who?
I never even heard of Pursuit. But I do think Impact has made. I think under the guys of Don Callis, they have made a lot of strides.
If they're gonna move to Pursuit, let's hope that at least they build enough momentum and build enough recognition on Pursuit that they can at least stay there and succeed there.
Yeah, Friday nights at 10 o'clock.
I don't know how many people have Pursuit.
That's not a good spot.
In New York, I've never heard of the Pursuit channel.
I've never heard of the Pursuit channel.
Do
I have any more?
Let me know where you guys from. If you know what channel Pursuit is, or if you ever heard of it. Moving on.
Did the interview news, or you have more?
I have some Nakamura news, or maybe rather not.
What, that he's not going to New Japan?
Yeah, they're trying to say he's not going to go to New Japan. That
he shouldn't.
Although his contract is up soon,
because he shouldn't wrestle.
They see him re-signing back.
He's making his money. He moved his family to America now. He's not going to want to wrestle that unless he does limited dates like Chris Jericho. But that real strong style that New Japan does, Nakamura don't do that no more. It's just the truth. It is a harder style. It is straight up. It is a harder style.
Plus, I'm pretty sure all the merch deals that he got, he'll be fine.
I mean, even though he's a bad guy now, he probably still. It's like the same thing with Balor. Like, he's making too much money. He's not going back. There's no shit.
Yeah. So that was the news.
Oh wait, I actually do have one more little piece of news. I mean, it's nothing crazy. Sami Zayn was on Talk with Jericho. That's a really good episode. You guys should definitely go.
It's called The Mind of.
The mental state of Sami Zayn, and it's a really good talk. He's just talking about a lot of different things. He's nowhere close to coming back, but when he does come back, hopefully we'll get to see a different Sami Zayn. But he mentioned a lot of things that were really important. He said, we give WWE so much crap, but there's a lot of things that we just don't know and have things factor into different things, the storylines and puzzle pieces. So I actually want to take this time, if you do follow this show. I come at WWE, I shit on them because I love them. And they have the greatest roster on the planet. And there's no reason that they should that the elite should even be this close to them. There's no reason, I mean, not that they're competition, but I feel like WWE, we shouldn't be complaining about them. We shouldn't have shows where we have to come out and say, hey guys, I'm sorry, we know we're pretty shitty, we're going to do a better job. And that better job is just listening to you guys. So... there's no excuse. They shouldn't. Your roster is too good. Like, there's no excuse why we should be having that. It's reminiscent of how WCW looked in 2000. Come on.
I'm gonna segue from that, and we're gonna cover Raw, December 17th episode of Raw.
This anger.
That goes straight into that leads straight into the opening of Raw.
Angers me so much.
And we have Vince, Stephanie, Shane, and Triple H open the show. And it felt, just like you said, it felt like WCW admitting they fucked up. And it wasn't good.
It's a bullshit statistic they're going to pull. And they're like, oh, the ratings popped when we came in. Oh, we were here for this time. Yeah, because we're going into WrestleMania season. The ratings always go up during WrestleMania season. Man.
So now...
Fuck out of here.
The reason for them coming out on the beginning of Raw was to address the state of the WWE and pretty much say, hey, we're listening. We know we... been fucking up. We know the ratings has been going down. We know we haven't been providing you the content that you guys want. They finally asked their question, who's booking it? They realize it's them.
Blamed it on Pear.
They specifically said
poor Baron Corbin.
They specifically said that the people are the authority now. Mm-hmm. Now, I did see changes throughout the night, but it wasn't big change. Like,
It was
reveal a new
good
set,
so.
new segments, like, you know,
little things, man.
Stable,
little
something.
things, man. It's
We
little things.
The NXT call ups was okay, but we don't need them.
No
We have a full roster of stars.
She don't even book
that
properly now.
Are not getting booked properly. But with that, we did see a shift. We seen people come back. We seen people get opportunity in this week of wrestling. Due to the holiday, Raw was actually double show. SmackDown this week was also a double show. So we'll run down Raw and SmackDown, and we'll give you the results for the next week's Raw and SmackDown.
They no teaser. You got the internet. You probably know it already.
Yeah, so it's out there what happened, but we'll give you the results. And there was change. There was definitely change, but I felt like they should have went full circle, changed the sets, personalized them Raw, SmackDown. You know, just it should have had.
What do you feel like?
What do you feel like?
What do you feel like they changed on Raw?
Well, they gave the Revival the spotlight they deserve. They brought the tag team. They gave a shine to Tyler Breeze, which had an amazing match against Dean Ambrose.
Yeah,
and we haven't seen Tyler Breeze is a great wrestler. he you know, he's not just Fashion Police. You know, he was his own character before in NXT. And he was great in the ring. Gave us good rivalries. Gave us great matches.
I don't think that Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose had a terrible match at TLC. I just don't think you should start a blood feud by a collar armbar tie-up. You should start it with a, you know, like forever, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens spot. But
well,
I was just saying because his match,
the match was good.
His match with Tyler Breeze looked more intense than his match with.
I was actually we watched
Rollins.
it together during the podcast last week. We watched TLC and we actually was like, wow, they're booing right now. Like,
yeah,
they shouldn't. The match was great, but
I wouldn't say great, but
it was a great match. It did everything necessary. It showed the storytelling. It had Seth Rollins having his passion and his emotion take the best of it. Dean Ambrose heel kicked in. He was fainting like he was gonna, you know, give the fist to Seth Rollins. It was a lot of storytelling. It was a good match. Go back and watch that.
Yeah, maybe
it was the placement on the card.
Yeah.
It was the placement on the card.
Yeah,
they had big matches to follow, and everybody was ready. Like, we want that TLC match.
The way they booked the card was not. It was so stacked in the latter end of it, and that's a match that needed to be in a TLC. I feel
like they should have.
They
should have trimmed 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, definitely. Half those matches you didn't need 14 matches on the card. You need to focus on your blood feuds and your title
that's the state of WWE right now. There's so much going on, and all their pay-per-views are getting longer. Their major pay-per-views are day events, week events.
Yeah.
With WrestleMania, so it's just as they expand, they're gonna inflate the amount of matches and they're gonna inflate the card. That's just natural.
You could stack your pre-show, which is 2 hours anyway, because we need a 2-hour pre-show. So you can stack your pre-show.
The pre-show is a part of the main show. Don't feed me that pre-show bullshit. When you got the Cruiserweight Championship on the pre-show, don't feed me that.
They should stack their pre-show.
You got the tag team champions.
No championship should ever be on a pre-show.
It's not a pre-show. It's not a pre-show to me.
And then the TLC matches they had, like New Day versus the Usos versus the Bar should have been a TLC match. Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose should have been a TLC match.
Yeah, but that's TLC. That's TLC. Let's move on to what happened in Raw. So they came out. They made these promises. They're gonna give us what we want. New matchups, new stars. You know, they're gonna listen to us. That's what they promised. So Corbin appears. He asks for a conversation with them. It leads into, he just lost his GM role officially. He said it's not fair, the typical heel routine bullshit. The McMahons are like pandering. I have that literally here in my notes. The McMahons are pandering to the crowd. Don't insult me. Like, don't say, hey, we were this bad, so let me kiss your ass now. No. Just do your fucking job. You don't have to pander to me now. I felt like they were kissing a lot of ass.
Of course they was.
So,
It was forced.
I have that in my notes. The mass pander to the crowd. They talking about absentee management, and my note says, "How about you speak about your absentee champ?"
Yeah.
It should have just been
Big change. You want a big change? Make Brock Lesnar show up next week and defend his title.
Brock Lesnar not showing up until the go home Raw before Royal Rumble, which is about a month from
Stop giving
now.
Brock Lesnar all that big money in general.
Yeah, so
Less of
this segment with Corbin turns into Kurt versus Corbin. If Corbin wins, he's permanent GM. It leads to the same shit as TLC. He gets jumped by Apollo, Bobby Roode, pretty much all the people he screwed, Heath Slater, stuff like that. The change I noticed though, they did put Heath Slater in a bigger spotlight. They did put Apollo in a bigger spotlight. They are doing something with Heath. The referee storyline is going somewhere.
They push Apollo. They push Apollo every single week, and then they forget that they were pushing him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, push Apollo. Yeah.
No, actually, I can't even.
Do we
agree.
push Apollo?
Apollo's been consistently on his own on Raw ever since that promo he kicked. That he that.
Yeah, it's been off and on.
No, he's been on every week on Raw. Every week. Apollo.
Really?
Yes. He was on last week. He was on last week.
Like the last 2-3 weeks, he's been.
You guys remember it because he threw Sasha Banks, and everybody remembers Sasha Banks' ass.
Yeah. The last couple of weeks, he's been
sad that we have to remember that way.
I mean, that was Mixed Match Challenge, I think.
No,
it was Raw.
No, it was Raw. It was like 2-3 weeks ago. I mean, the last 2-3 weeks he's been on there heavily, but they've been pushing him to stop. They're pushing him to stop. Seem like they're gonna actually go somewhere with it. Just do it. If you're gonna push him, then just push him
consistently every week.
If you're gonna do it, then just do it. Stop getting started.
We have Finn Balor versus Ziggler. It ends in a DQ because of Drew inserting himself. Drew ends up leaving both of them laying. Finn Balor's been getting more of a push. He's actually been looking really good coming out of this feud.
It's about time.
So
he's only one of your almost over superstars everywhere. He's not like number 3 on your merch. It's not like he's just some chumpy underdog. Like he's an international superstar. He is like.
So treat him like it.
Next we have Dean Ambrose comes out, cuts a promo on Seth Rollins. Seth doesn't show up. He has his mask, guards, and all this. It leads to an open challenge. Like I said, Tyler Breeze was featured. Good match. This felt like Prince Pretty.
My Prince Pretty on.
Yeah, this felt like Prince Pretty straight from NXT. It didn't feel like the watered down.
And
after Fashion Files.
And he had that match with Ricochet the other week too. So Prince Pretty's been on I mean, he lost both of them, but he looked good in both losses. So I'm glad to see more Tyler Breeze, more of that.
Definitely. Because Tyler's a good wrestler. He has a package. That's his character. So, and it's something that he put together well in NXT. So they should continue with that. Obviously, he lost to Dean Ambrose. Seth Rollins turns out to be, after the match, Dean Ambrose won clean.
One of the masked goons.
Seth Rollins was one of the masked goons.
One of the masked
ends up attacking Dean. Dean slithers out. Typical shit. Moving on. One of the highlights and one of the big changes I was talking about was the tag team division on Raw.
Okay.
And the AOP goes into Shane, and they're requesting their rematch. Now, and this is a good thing if they stick to it. WWE's not giving you mandatory rematch clauses anymore.
They'll stick to it when it's
convenient.
When it's convenient for the story.
Convenient for the story, which makes sense though.
Yeah.
But that was the cluster that they kept going in, and I felt that's why, although AJ Styles had a great run as champion, he had too many Shinsuke matches. So it was the rematch clause thing.
Sorry, I love you, AJ Styles, but your title run was.
He ends up saying that AOP has to earn it. They end up in a fatal 4-way for #1 contendership against the B Team, the Revival, and Lucha House Party. With the Revival finally winning clean.
Shadow Machine.
Finally winning clean. Finally looking strong. Finally looking like the top guys.
Top guys.
So that was a good change.
Just fists, no flips, all right?
And then next was the promo with the NXT call-ups, and
Which we really don't need.
Raw pretty much ended with Ronda Rousey coming out and pretty much, doing her. This is how a champion acts. This is how a champion moves. I want to defend my title tonight, and she had an open challenge for the women's championship.
Yeah.
When they cut to the back, the entire women's roster, damn near, is crowding the production area, right? The gorilla position
to get out. Okay, yeah.
They're crowding the gorilla position, and they're all screaming, "We want it, we want it!"
Yeah. And
Stephanie comes out. Come on, let's all go out. She makes a 8-woman gauntlet match
Oh man.
for the #1 contendership.
I didn't see all this.
Bravo.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Bravo.
Awesome. Yeah.
You highlighted Natalia, which ended up winning. Which Natalia's a veteran. People were like, I'm seeing on Twitter and stuff, why Natalia did it? Natalia's a veteran.
Yeah.
You get shit right when you put the people who actually can fucking wrestle and give you those matches on top.
Yeah.
So Natalia won.
People might have
Good
been
look.
arguing why didn't
Sasha Banks.
Riot win though.
Sasha Banks looked really good. Ember Moon, really good in that gauntlet match. They showcased a lot of people. I don't have the list of people who were in it, but those were the
all the women that were on the.
Bailey. Bailey had a good shot on that
I thought
match.
I
thought Bailey was gonna run the
win.
entire gauntlet.
Yeah.
I thought she was gonna pull a Rollins.
I thought they were gonna push old Bailey. Remember when Bailey was cool?
So this episode of Raw ends with Natalia winning, Ronda Rousey coming into the ring, giving her congratulations, and they had good sportsmanship. It didn't look like no heel thing. It looked like a friendly battle.
Could be.
And that's gonna happen on the pre-tape Raw.
Yeah.
Next is SmackDown. Do you want to talk about SmackDown? Or
Yeah. We're gonna jump.
Then we'll do the rundown of the pre-tapings.
Sounds good.
Oh yeah, we can run down SmackDown. We can definitely jump to the A show.
Give me a second. You know what happens?
Let's
You know what happens?
Let's jump to. Don't worry about it. Have no fear. The A show is here. The A show SmackDown opened up with Shane McMahon backstage area. It continued off the riff of Raw about this is going to be a new era. He said there's going to be new faces, new changes, and he says, and this is a quote. Doesn't mean I'm making fun. We're here to announce our formal
Page here.
Formal general manager Page pronunciation, folks. He meant to say former SmackDown general manager Page, and that she's got a new role and she's not going anywhere. Which, in real terms, if your boss comes up to you and says you got a new term and not going anywhere, you're probably fired. So
Definitely.
yeah, which really sucks.
Good.
And here's the thing that sucks because SmackDown didn't need the makeover like Raw did. I feel like it was really Raw that needed this makeover. SmackDown has really been fine. Granted, their ratings have been dropping too, but I don't really think SmackDown needed some big overall. But we'll get into SmackDown and the changes they did make. So, boom, she was released because of the new era. So the show opened properly.
Which makes me really curious as to what her role is going to be going forward.
She's probably going to be a manager.
Oh, good gosh.
If she's going to be a manager, who do you think she should manage?
I don't know, but the show did open properly with
The man,
Becky Lynch, and she called out Ronnie for her actions at TLC, and she wants a rematch with Asuka, which she kind of deserves. Charlotte then came out, woo, get a woo too on that. She came out and saying no, you got to step in line behind the queen. Then Asuka came out. I love Asuka. I love the way Asuka just comes out just dancing. Everything just.
She definitely got her swag.
You know what I'm saying?
She got her swag back.
She
with that
definitely
title.
does. She looks good with that title. She looks real good. Yeah, more of that WWE. So then they're going back and forth, and then Vince McMahon comes out. Vince McMahon says, Becky and Charlotte and Becky, Ronda's absolutely right for doing what she does. She's well on her right. She said payback's a B, and she got it. And she said to Becky, you acting entitled, and I really wanted Becky to just fire back like, shut up, old man.
And going back to the title rematch thing, it's not official. Becky might not get her rematch.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely gonna play a bigger part. And out we had Naomi came, and Naomi said, "Yo, I want a shot at Asuka." Vince said, "Let's make it happen." So it was Naomi versus Asuka, and this was a really good match. I think a lot of people forget that Naomi is really good in the ring.
Yeah,
they just got to give it a time, and they gave this match like 2 minutes.
I felt like she did her thing. She's really good in the ring, athletic as hell. But I definitely think Asuka carried that match for the most part.
Oh yeah, she definitely did.
Yeah.
I don't think Naomi can do it. She can do it, but she's not used to those type of matches. So I feel like she's.
I mean, she's a former SmackDown Women's Champion. So
no, I mean she is, but
she's not used to Asuka.
The caliber of a Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and an Asuka, she's not used to that, bro.
Not on a consistent basis now.
No, not on exactly. So the level of match and the amount of time they actually gave this match
was good.
They gave him a good 15 minutes.
Yeah, man. She got a near fall off the rear view. Then Asuka caught her with a springboard. So Naomi's going for a springboard. Asuka reversing, to which one is code breaker. But when that's Jericho's name for it. But it's called the lung blower. And then after that, Asuka won with an Asuka lock. That was a really good TV match. Then we go backstage to Rusev Day doing an interview. Listen, he may have flubbed over a couple of his scripted words, but Rusev does not need a script. He's a handsome hunk. He has a handsome beard. He has a beautiful wife. He doesn't need a script, okay?
Which made me feel like Rusev actually was given creative freedom.
Yeah.
It gave me that feel yo, just wing it.
I feel like he kind of flubbed over his words. I feel like he kind of started improv. It's like, look, I'm handsome. Or maybe that was part of it. I don't know. I'm handsome.
I like
look,
that. I like that part. I like that part.
Saying? My handsome beard.
That's why it made me feel. It felt organic. It felt like for the first time they was like, oh, can I have that script? All right, go ahead, go do your thing.
He's awesome. That's how I felt. I love him. Nakamura. He said Nakamura looks like the Sonic the Hedgehog, and not the old school one, like the new one.
Ugh. Let's not even talk about that Sonic the Hedgehog.
Delete that. New Sonic the Hedgehog. But anyway, then Nakamura says that we can't be scared of Rusev. He's a total goofball on Total Divas, and he showed pictures of Rusev mowing the lawn.
He said he belongs on Total Divas.
I said he belongs. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like you see him mowing the lawn in thongs and all kinds of. All kind of shenanigans they posted on their Instagram. And then it was announced next week there will be a United States Championship match between Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev, which I'm very happy about. Glad we get to see both of these guys. He's only United States champion. So Jeff Hardy came out and he said he heard word in the street that Samoa Joe was coming out for an apology.
I already saw that going on.
And then Joe. So Jeff Hardy is out there, and he admitted to his problems. You know what I'm saying? And then Joe came out there, and Joe said, "Listen, I didn't come out here for an apology. I came out here for an intervention." And then that's when Jeff Hardy was like, "Yeah, I had problems with my past, but I'm over it now." And he said to Joe, "I think you try to pull on everybody's insecurities because you've been here for 2 years and you still haven't won a championship."
That was a
pow
big, that was a big low blow. And Joe definitely felt that.
So great, yeah.
That was a combo breaker.
That was definitely good.
Combo.
You see it in his face. He was kind of pissed off, played it off. Then he went for the attack. Jeff Hardy hit him with the twist of fate. And next week it's gonna be Samoa Joe versus Jeff Hardy. How about it, huh? Then we cut backstage. Definitely more of that. We cut backstage to a segment with the Miz and Vince McMahon. And
did you knock was that a manly knock?
Was that a manly knock? Or was that an alpha lock? Or was that
it was a manly lock.
It was, and then the Miz wants Vince's blessings to team with Shane McMahon
just to be part of the best in the world.
To be part of the best in the world, but the way they're presenting it, Miz was asking Vince his hand in marriage.
Like hand in marriage.
Yeah, it was really funny the way they played it off.
Can I have your blessing, sir?
And he says, "Oh, pal, I don't give off blessings, pal, but I do give off opportunities, pal." He didn't keep saying pal, but I'm pretty sure he keeps saying that in his mind.
Whoever this guy is.
Yeah, whoever this guy is, pal. So then this led to a mixed match tag match with the winners of the tag team match, R-Truth and Carmella, dance break. And with Mandy Rose. And Mandy Rose is only out there, so R-Truth can say, "Hey, is that Maurice?" And dance break happened, skull crushing finale. And yeah, that was it. Oh man, my IG went out. God damn it, IG went out.
IG went out.
Yeah, but we gotta keep pushing on with SmackDown. So let's move on to the next segment where the Usos came out and said, yeah, they lost last night, but they didn't get pinned or submitted, so they were about to call out the bar. But before they could call out the bar,
who came out?
We had the Good Brothers come out, who have not been on SmackDown TV
since they was drafted, I think.
In 4 months, bro. 4 months, man. It's really crap, man. It's really crap.
This is another big change. We've been like fans been clamoring for
The club to come
the
back.
club to come back, for the club to actually
Freaking
do
club.
something. They were
There's a lot of
like, let's
tag
not get
teams
it
that they
twisted,
don't
because
realize.
a lot of people also be on that bullshit where they be like, oh, what have they done? They completely failed them. WWE. They were tag team champions a year ago. Remember when the Hardys came back?
But they don't book them.
They were the
though.
champs.
But they don't book them. Right. They don't.
So
They gotta be there. You gotta be on TV to get. I don't know. I don't know. But listen,
so
the good
they're
brothers were
back.
there.
They're
Yeah,
back.
They're back.
They're back.
So they came out, cut a promo, and they said that they were exactly saying what the fans all of us think. It's like, yo, we think that the New Day and the Usos and the Bar, you guys are awesome,
Seen
but
it.
we've seen you guys 1,000 times. And they were literally saying everything that we were talking about right before this came on. And they said, we haven't been on SmackDown in 4 months. That led to a match with the Good Brothers and the Bar. The Bar and the Usos. This is a really good match, but it ended in disqualification because we had Sanity come out!
Yes.
Sanity! Yes!
Finally using Sanity in the way he wanted them to be.
This felt honestly like change. Like, they came out saying this is going to be a new era. This honestly felt like change. And you know what? Bring up new people.
And the funny thing
no
is,
call-ups. This is just utilize your talent.
most people will be like, hey, SmackDown didn't need changing. But when you saw that change, it was like, we
need them. I think the women do to bolster up the tag team championship division that's eventually
That's
coming.
if
but
they're even doing that right now.
they probably are.
They are. They're listening.
But it's just like,
as far as those belts, they're listening. I know they definitely got those in the works.
but this looked really good. Sandy kind of stared down the Bar, told him you can kind of finish them off. The Bar kind of just stomped the Good Brothers out and the Usos out, and this led to the main event. The main event was a team of AJ Styles, Mustafa Ali versus Andrade Cien Almas.
This was a
When was the last time we seen Andrade Cien?
great match.
And Daniel Bryan. This is a
shocking ending.
The shocking ending. So for the most part, Daniel and Andrade Cien Almas worked over Andrade Cien Almas. He finally got the hot tag. Andrade Cien Almas and Daniel Bryan was mostly working over Ali. Ali finally got the hot tag to AJ Styles. AJ Styles coming in, starts running wild, hits the phenomenal forearm on Andrade Cien Almas. Then I forget how he tussles. He ends up tussling with Daniel Bryan a little bit. Mustafa Ali hits Daniel Bryan with a move and then goes up for the 054, hits it, goes right across Daniel Bryan's throat, and you can visibly hear him saying, "I'm sorry, I was counting him." But Mustafa Ali pins Daniel Bryan.
That's a big thing.
Listen.
The champ pinned by a 205
This
live.
is exactly what I mean by proper booking can make anything right. He's been on there 2 weeks, and already Mustafa Ali feels like one of the biggest stars on SmackDown. Why? Because they booked him right. That's all you gotta do is just book him right. Just in 2 weeks, Mustafa Ali went from 205 Live, which barely cracks the top 10 of WWE stuff watching the network, to beating the WWE champion on live TV. Like, come on, man. It's booking. That's all this is booking. And that's how SmackDown ended. And that's why I called SmackDown the goddamn A show, because they said there's going to be change, and you know what? We got change. I think they should have waited for the change announcement only because things are going to be pre-taped. You know, just said so I think they should have waited
But I
with
feel
the
like
new year.
I feel like this also gives them, saying this now with the pre-tapings, this gives them the ability to have 2 weeks worth of thinking and actually getting the next couple stages of booking plan.
One of the things I found interesting, Jimmy Jacobs was on. He used to be a former writer for WWE. He got fired because when the Bullet Club, when he did Bullet Club, he took a picture with them outside of. Stupid.
I remember that.
But he kind of wanted to get fired. But he was on the Wrestling Observer. Brian
He's the one that made the list.
Dave Meltzer. Yeah, he was the one that made the list with Chris Jericho, and he was talking about how the writing process, how the writers will have shows done by like Thursday, Friday, and then like early Monday afternoon they'll present it to Vince. But then the day of the show, like Monday afternoon, Vince might change the entire thing. So these writers will, and this is one of the things I think that really messes things up, because they need to have this show done by like Saturday or Sunday, so you can give the people who are cutting promos time to read over the script, get a little feeling. Because as an actor, I can look at them in their eyes and see them going over their lines in their head. I've been in that situation before, and it fucking sucks. You should give them time to sink their teeth into their promos, so when they go out there and make believable, because believable, more people watch, ratings go up. WWE, I learned all this from you, so why are you acting like you don't know what you're doing? And this is why I get pissed off with you, because you're acting like you don't know what you're doing.
Well,
Right?
that's because they took the creative lead away from the actual stars that are in these rivalries. And back then it was like, okay, you guys in the rivalry, this is pretty much how you want the night to go. Do your thing, and it's with the Rusev thing. Rusev is a really funny character on his Twitter. Very
hilarious.
He's full of personality. Him and Lana, they're hilarious.
A lot of wrestlers are.
So, you know, his promo kind of shined because it felt like, you know, Rusev sounds like Rusev on Twitter.
Handsome Rusev.
Rusev sounds like how he really be joking, you know, all the time. So,
hilarious.
Come on, I'm a hunk, man. Look,
yeah, I'm handsome.
Handsome.
It's funny, and you know that they just need to let these guys go out there and just talk freely. If you stumble, if you fuck up, hey, you still become history. Look at Steiner. Look at Sid Vicious.
Oh, look at that, you know what I'm saying?
Shockmaster.
Remember when he was like,
look at that again. Oh, we're live, pal.
Yeah, look at that take again. Exactly.
We're live, pal.
So, you know, just do it, man.
It's like how we are live, man. This is live. We don't pre-tape this and edit it out. This is all live here, people. This is the live cast. Or is it the podcast?
No,
I don't
it's
know.
the live cast.
Yeah.
So,
Both.
it was actually a big week in wrestling because this was the holiday season, holiday week. So we had tribute.
This was a fun show, man.
We had tributes to the troops.
We also had 205 live on NXT
So what,
as well.
what do you want to do? You want to do
what you guys want to do?
You want to do tribute to troops first, or
We'll just run down tributes to the troops real quick, and then you can take over with the
205
NXT 205.
Yeah, tribute to troops was real. We had JBL on commentary. We had Natty and Ronda versus the Riot Squad versus Nia and Tamina. It was a fun match. Nia won with the double armbar spot that she does to both the Riot Squad members. They tapped out. She cut a promo after, you know, thanking the troops, which is really just an awesome thing they do. Some guy named Morgan Wallen performed. It was actually a good song. I have no idea who he is, but it was a good song. Elias came out. You know, he did his introduction. And then Balor came out. It was a tag team match between Finn Balor, Elias, Bobby Lashley, and Drew McIntyre. Hard-hitting match. They were in Fort Hood, Texas, which was apparently, it was freezing out there. I mean, you're in Texas. I don't know why it's freezing, but it is what it is. They kept putting over on commentary the new era, the new era, the new era, the new era.
They have to.
Yeah, they do. They do. The crowd was waiting for the hot tag to Elias. Drew talked so much trash during it. I love it. Elias is adjusting his offense to more being a babyface because I think the problem with Elias, he still wrestles as a heel. So
I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted.
Oh,
We watch
watching
wrestling
while
talking about wrestling. We have the NWO versus Tamatonga's daddy.
Yeah, man. This is not cool. He still one of the baddest mother effers around.
Yeah,
so then
they're having a backstage brawl right now.
Leo Rush interferes. Balor hits a coup de grace on Bobby Lashley's back while he's pinning Elias. Balor stops Leo Rush. Balor gets the pin on Lashley. Miz TV segment. Ooh, this is a good one. You had the man Becky Lynch.
Can we focus a little bit on how Miz brings people up and like is just perfect at
this is good.
Creating rivalries, amping up rivalries while still maintaining his own story.
He killed it, yo. He really killed it. Let me get my Miz on right quick. So he was sitting there, right? The Miz was like, "So I'm a great actor." He's like, first introduce Becky, my co-star of the Marine 6, Becky Lynch, and then Charlotte came out, and he says, you know, the subtext that I get from you guys' rivalries, Becky, you think that Charlotte is better than you, and Charlotte, you can't stand the fact that now you're standing in Charlotte, you can't stand the fact that now you're standing in Becky's shadow. Automatically, both of them piss both of them off. Becky's just like, first off, both of you are like a fake Ken and Barbie. You're delusional calling yourself a Marine in front of all these people. I mean, this is tribute to the troops, so in front of a bunch of Army people. And then she says to Charlotte, you're out here trying to be me, and I'm just doing what I do, and that's being a man. After that, Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose come out, which they cut a pretty good promo. Sonya Deville says, I punch harder than Nia Jax, Becky. And then it obviously led to a tag team match, which was hilarious because
she actually probably does punch harder than Nia Jax. Having MMA,
yeah.
She has an MMA background.
So Charlotte did all the work for this match. Becky tags herself in, hits Sonya Deville with the disarmor, taps her out, walks out the ring. That shit was hilarious because Charlotte's just sitting there looking like,
I just went through all of this.
I know this bitch just did that. Like, She went through the whole match and just.
The man doesn't wait for no one.
She doesn't wait for nobody. After that, we had John Stewart come out telling some pretty funny jokes. It was a great video package with the WWE superstars interacting with the Army. Then we got to the main event. Oh, this is a cracking main event. We had Daniel Bryan and Dean Ambrose versus AJ Styles and Seth freaking Rollins. I mean, dream match. We could have put this in our dream match. That if you go to Kayfabe Ave on YouTube, you can see our dream matches from last week.
And you can discuss it on hashtag Kayfabe Ave.
But
don't forget to add us at Kayfabe AJ, Kayfabe Focus, and Kayfabe.
I'm not kidding.
Livecast.
Yeah, Kayfabe. Yeah.
That's a long ass usually.
Kayfabe Bath part of Livecast. But anyway, so this is dives, running knees. Started off like a proper blood feud should. Sling blades, burn it down, super kicks. Daniel Bryan interference, a little commercial wrestles because they're still doing it for TV. Huge clothesline, folds Seth up. JBL's funny. Seth Rollins does a sunset flip, the one that kind of injured him like 2 years ago, into a buckle bomb. AJ fires up. Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles are going at it. AJ Styles, it's a calf crusher on Ambrose, hits a phenomenal forearm on Daniel Bryan, pins in Daniel Bryan. Good house show.
That image
All the style comes
him,
out.
of AJ jumping,
It's awesome.
Awesome.
And he cocks that.
Just the whole scenery with the armory look.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was awesome. You gotta go back.
It was a good house show. Yeah, it's one of the time. Of course, the faces are gonna go over, but it was a good house show. Go watch it. It's definitely worth time. Nice little hour, maybe 10-minute show, which the way things should be. You see how it just crammed all that into that? Just an hour and 10. That's all we need. I'll go back in 2 hours. I know it's more money, but go back in 2 hours. It's the money thing. I understand. I wouldn't go back. The money.
No,
it's the money.
if they turn it around and actually give us the stables and the people we want to see winning, and
like there should be a
3 hours would be like glued. Like you won't even feel the 3 hours.
Fandango's coming back. There should be Fashion Files of the Broken Universe. There should be staple things going on every week. That what's going to happen in the Broken Universe
I'm
this week?
wondering what's going on with
Fashion
Bray.
Files this week.
Bray, I don't know if we touched it earlier. Bray's tweeting about I'm here. Where are you? And then it has an elite image that says elite.
We'll see, man. We'll see. Who knows, man? Who knows who has
Matt's also been teasing that he's ready for a comeback soon.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
No. Probably see the deletes.
Baby.
All right, so we have NXT up. We have
205 up. 205 live starts. Itami and Daivari comes out. Daivari demands respect for Itami and holds the show hostage.
Ooh.
Right? So then Drake Maverick comes out pissed off, ready to suspend them. But No Endar comes out and challenges Itami.
Wow.
I'm sorry for distracting you, but your man's got the money shakes.
Who has the money shakes? I don't have the money shakes. What are you talking about?
The money
I don't
shakes.
have the money shakes.
I don't know.
I don't have the money shakes.
I don't know.
WCW Nitro.
Is he starting all elite podcasting?
What are you talking about? I don't have the money shakes. Well, you can continue to a 5 podcast. Shut up, been running for 2 years already.
Man, Interrupted Focus is great dialogue.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, man.
I think H.
Probably
like H. There's a secret.
You look like it.
Yeah. Anyways.
So, Noam Dar comes out challenging Itami. Itami wins, of course. You know, it was a alright match. Nothing too big. But backstage, they saw Buddy Murphy talking to Drake. Buddy demands a challenger for his next contender. I wonder who's it gonna be, because he's saying it's not gonna be Cedric or Mustafa Ali.
They don't deserve it.
I don't know who is gonna be next challenger.
Who should it be?
Who?
They didn't say.
I'm gonna find out next week on 205, I guess.
Tony Nese, except with fully abs covered, because I hate that jacket.
I mean, they're buddies though, so I don't know. They've been building Tony Nese. That'd be a good match.
How about
I want to see 205 live. I want to see 205 live guys interact with NXT guys more.
What's happened to Gentleman?
Gentleman
Gentleman
Jack.
Jack Gallagher?
He's in the main event.
Yeah,
I'll get to that.
Okay.
Gentleman
So
Jack
anyways,
Gallagher.
we go to the
Gentleman Jack
next
Gallagher, the
segment.
one that might as
Leo
well
Rush
still
comes
has an
out
intro.
to face a Jabba. He gets on the mic saying that he's not here to pump up the crowd because he has time. And then, you know, he's the man of the hour, you know. So out of nowhere, he just sucker punched the Jabba, beats him up a little bit, fits his finisher.
Anytime Leo Rush can physically impose on someone, it's hilarious.
And then hits a second final hour for the win. Leo Rush is just showing off right now.
Let me tell you something.
And also, congrats to him and his wife. Yeah, basically.
Congratulations.
So backstage, we
The
see,
man of the hour finally got married. Sorry.
So Cedric has a selfie video telling Buddy that he will be back for the cruiserweight title.
Okay.
Cedric Alexander would be so much more interesting if he had a character.
Man,
could you imagine?
He's so stale, bro.
He's so
He's
stale.
a great wrestler. I'm glad you said that.
So
He's so stale.
He's so stale. All he needs is a character. What a novel concept. A wrestler having
like,
a
that should be
character.
a top 5. Top 5 greatest stale wrestlers.
Yo, there's a lot of them. There is a lot. That's that's our next top 5. You just heard it. Because there's a lot of them. Oh my, I can
You know
like
what? We might have
right
to do a
now.
top 20.
Yo, there's a lot of
We might
them.
have to
Oh my
do a
god,
top
there's so
20.
many
Well,
great
we're
stale
gonna
wrestlers.
try to bring you guys end of year content
Oh.
and Kayfabe
That's gonna be
Avenue
good shit, though,
awards.
man. That's gonna be a lot of good
That's
stuff.
the next
man.
thing, but
Woo.
maybe in the future, the top 5.
We need top 5.
stalest,
Oh my god.
greatest wrestlers.
Buried one. Oh my, he buried. Stone Cold buried Lance Storm with that. Oh my
Lance
god.
Storm is one of the greatest wrestlers
He
of
was
all
great.
time.
He
Like,
is, but he got
that
buried
was
with one
like
segment.
buried, yeah.
I buried one segment, bro. Where's Matt Riddle when you're sorry? I just gotta pull. Bro, because he just buried him so. Bro. Like, bro.
So anyways, going to the main event, it was Drew Gulak and Gentleman Jack Gallagher versus Akira Tozawa and Brian Kendrick in a tag team street fight.
Ooh, tag team street fight?
That's what I'm
Cool.
telling you.
I like
Nice.
when 205 love that shit like
This
this, man.
tag
More of
team
that,
street
man.
fight was a great highlight. I loved it. I think the crowd was tired.
It's not often they do some hardcore shit.
It was really great. He got physical real quick. Kendrick took a table out, and then Drew Gulak put it right back, which was fun as hell.
They fit it away.
So yeah, so then they do like a double team and stuff. It's a really good hardcore match. They tie Gulak up to the ring post and repeatedly chop him and such.
Ooh.
And then like Jack put like Gulak. No. They put Tozawa on an announce chair, and Gulak pushes him into a running kick from Gallagher.
Oh wow. That's nice.
Big
That
spot.
was a great
That's
spot
going
right
back
there.
and rewind.
You got
Yo,
that was a good one right there.
I'm about to put that match on.
Yeah, put that in. That's actually
You
great.
might- you
Like
might
a
have
crack
to
match.
put
Yeah, throw that
that
match
match
on.
right
Throw
there.
that match on.
So then, afterwards, Gallagher puts Kendrick into an Indian death block, and then Tozawa does a senton off the top rope and hits him.
Can we see
my
more
God,
of
more of
that?
that. That's why.
And so then,
Good gosh.
after that, Kendrick goes for the slice bread number 2 and Gulak counters, leaving Kendrick sitting on the top rope, right? So then Tozawa kicks Gulak outside of the ring and goes for a dive. Gulak holds up a trash can and make them both crash to the floor.
Ooh, yeah, we gotta see
Just
that.
imagine,
Yeah, we
just
gotta see
imagine
that.
the impacts to the head.
I'm about
Yeah.
to see that right now.
Well,
So
you
you sold it.
I can picture it in my head,
anyways,
but I need to see
Gallagher
it.
comes
More of that.
comes to sitting on top of the top rope Kendrick for a backdrop. However, Kendrick counters with a top rope slice bread number 2, which I will call it right now the slice bread squared for the win.
Slice bread square for the one. You heard it.
Wow, they had a lot of time.
They had a lot of
Hashtag
time.
slice
It
bread
was
square.
They had
Great
20
match.
minutes.
That's trademark on Kayfabe app.
That's
Slice
20
bread square. Slice bread square. You hear it on Kayfabe app. Trademark. Boom.
Top rope slice bread number 2.
Slice bread
crazy.
square. So yeah, we're actually throwing this match and we're talking. Oh, he went back to the baby
Oh
face.
yes, I forgot to say.
Babyface Kendrick.
He shaved his beard off, so now I'm calling him Spanky for now on.
You know how much years younger he looks right now?
Babyface Kendrick.
This is back in the day.
This is
Brian.
back. Yeah,
It looks
it's
like
back
all
in the
that
day.
age he took on.
This is
just went away.
This is SmackDown. Ooh, this is like the original SmackDown.
This is
Kendrick on.
like when you have WWE, the video game, and then you have the different characters.
Yeah, put the different characters.
Wow,
that's exactly what it's like.
Past. Wow.
Yeah.
Young Kendrick.
Yeah, man. So who's joining us? Hey, Instagram, IG Live people, what's going on? We see you.
All right, so let's move on to NXT.
NXT was always cracking.
So NXT started with Io and Dakota versus Jasmine and Marina.
I'm glad you did that. I had it all out.
I got notes for that too.
You got some notes for that? Sure enough.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't got
AJ
all
like
down.
it.
You can continue to
Oh,
run
yeah.
down.
Alright.
Yeah.
So Dakota Kai has been very aggressive lately, which I like.
I like it. More of that. She's the Kingslayer.
She's the
I have no complaints as far as Dakota Kai and Io's role in it.
Yeah.
I expected more from the Four Horsewomen.
I did too.
They're still a little green.
They are green and they showed a lot in this match. Like we were hoping they were gonna have the Four Horsewomen versus Four Horsewomen.
Not really at all.
It's not competition.
I don't know.
Besides Ronda, there's no competition.
So, Ronda, I think Shayna can hold her own.
Well, Shayna. I'm sorry, I overlooked Shayna.
Shayna's.
Besides Shayna and Ronda, the other two need work, and it showed in this match.
But they putting away the table.
Yes, more of that. More of that. More of that.
For a better 205.
For a better 205. I like that. See, I like more of that. More of that. Or those are the are those the guys?
Those fans are always there every event.
Nah, that's a different set of
So continue to run down that, but that's how I felt about.
I felt that Jasmine and Marina was a very powerhouse, hard-hitting team, but they're still green. They still need a lot more training, just like I think Ronda kind of does as well and such. But Io, they basically manhandle Dakota. Io gets the hot tag, starts cleaning out the house. There's a 619 and a springboard foot stomp to Marina, and then hits a beautiful moonsault for the win.
So I love her moonsault.
That boot though. To I forgot which of the Four Horsewomen it was.
Jessamine Duke screams a lot. I kind of like. She kind of gives like a Vikings vibe. Like
she's like she's channeling that like UFC MMA anger. You know, I like it.
Yeah. They're just a little green.
So what else we have?
So after that we get a DJ Kovic promo hyping his debut.
For the guys for his debut, the guys that's Donovan Dijak for the people I know him in the indie scene. I don't know why they changed his name.
Feast your eyes.
What's his new name?
What is how do you
DJ Kovic.
DJ Kovic. It was
Dominic. DJ
yeah, it's
Kovic.
just like whatever. Feast your eyes though. Feast your body
after
eyes.
that we have Matt Riddle does an interview about Cassius Ohno.
Who? The bro guy?
The bro.
The king of bros?
Come on.
The bro god.
The bro god.
Bro.
The king of pros. Anytime I can play a Matt Riddle, I can play. Bro. I love his interview. Just like, yeah, bro. Yeah, Cassius Ohno, bro. Like
he looks so high,
bro.
In all his promos,
like
he's definitely paying the marijuana luxury tax.
He basically Matt should have basically been like the interview should have basically been like, yeah, bro, like Cassius Ohno, bro, like he hit me from behind, bro, and like, but if he does it face to face, I knock him out again like I did at NXT in 7 seconds, bro. Look, I got things to do, bro, so I'm gonna hit you up later, bro. Peace. I feel like his theme song plays wherever he goes. Like,
that's how he walks.
If this was the Attitude Era in 2018, he would have definitely been smoking something live.
And emphasis on the Crocs.
In his Crocs. That's why Matt Riddle's the GOAT, man. The fuck, yo. I love fucks with Matt Riddle, yo. The Crocs, the bro. Thank you, NXT, for letting him keep it. Please, when he goes to the main roster, let him keep it. That's Matt Riddle.
He's definitely paying. People are like, oh no, he's not smoking no more
Hell
because
CBD.
because
probably no CBD oil. He goes out of his system a lot quicker.
He definitely has marijuana. He has THC in his system. That man looks
Renee
smacked all the time.
Renee was talking about how she uses CBD oil.
Renee Young?
Yeah, because it goes to she has like anxiety.
It does have like healing
crazy
properties and
anxiety. So
stuff.
yeah, CBD oil goes out of the system. And,
2019, they already legalized it
you
in
can't
New
shit.
York.
You got a CBD oil store.
They legalized it in New York. So
Yeah, I had the gummy bears the other day.
listen,
another conversation for another
I'd
time.
rather have my wrestlers saying, "Listen, I'm gonna smoke some weed or vape some weed, rather than take painkillers or go on these pills."
Dude, CBD oil has so many. When I go work out, well, I know we're segueing, but when I go work out in Bang Clang and I put the CBD stick on my muscles, I'm good. Stretch it out, CBD stick, shit is gone, dude. CBD is the way. It's the way. Then we kind of veered off. We're to NXT because NXT was cracking this week.
Alright, so afterwards, Aaron Mack came out to face Dijakovic, and I like Dijakovic. I think he's very strong.
Freaking eyes.
See
those eyes? Feast on him.
He lift Mackie up for like a suplex and then threw him to the other side of the ring.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
that was pretty good.
What did he yell something? He yelled something. He was like over. He yelled something like
you want to get over or something?
Yeah, something like over there. Just woof, just threw him like literally like across the ring.
And then he hits him with a crazy rib breaker. Yeah. That looked like it hurt.
It does. There's no soft way to take that.
And then he finally hits the Feast Your Eyes, which is basically the torture rack.
Feast your
freaking
eyes.
D-strike.
You see these IG? Feast your eyes. My eyes are for feasting. You see those eyes? Okay, they have glasses
like
on.
A madman on YouTube.
Okay, they have glasses on. So that means there's 8 freaking eyes, and altogether there's 12 freaking eyes to feast on. Eyes for feasting. One got a little crazy there. Sorry. Did I? Sorry. Oh,
so, anyways,
sounds just like Jay Lethal.
Wait till I get it down. Wait till I get it. I'm gonna come here just cutting promos. I'm gonna do a whole show. Just
maybe want to see that whole section.
Did I just hear these punks over there talk about the 4 horsemen? Sorry. You're gonna get me shape mode. Let's continue. Sorry.
So I basically like his finisher. I feel like it's kind of like a go to sleep, but it's more.
It's a reverse go to sleep.
Yeah,
it's like a reverse go to sleep.
It looked like he was gonna do like the flatliner or One Winged Angel.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was like a Death Valley driver.
It's
reverse. Reverse.
Like
a reverse Death Valley.
He pulls it like that and then just knees him in the face. Like it felt like slow motion when I saw it.
Yeah.
But
I think he was trying to like put over how cool it was.
Are you dropping mics?
Yeah, definitely dropped the mics like 8 times already. So you put that over. I don't think so.
I definitely would like to see Riddle versus Dijakovic.
I'd like to see Riddle versus anybody.
Yeah. They're really build. I like the way they're building up this cast on. But
speaking of
Riddle,
he's actually confirmed to be in the Madison Square Garden holiday show. So he's making another debut.
Oh, dude, that's gonna be a huge match. It's gonna be Matt Riddle, Aleister Black, Ricochet, Pete Dunne. I think it's gonna be British Strong Style versus.
I have to get my tickets.
Dude,
wait, that's in 2 days.
Yeah, that's right after Christmas. Day after Christmas. I went there last year. That's what that red AJ Styles shirt on. That's where I got that. That's where I got that from.
Love.
Yeah,
Merry Christmas to Kayfabe Ave. I'm like, show up.
Yo, and they have good matches there. Cause last year they had Roman Reigns versus John Cena. They had whatever. Anyway, on to this year, it's gonna be Undisputed Era, Tommaso Ciampa, and Velveteen Dream. I think they're doing some crazy like 10-man tag team.
Yeah, they brought a lot of heavy hitters.
Yeah, Ronda's gonna be there. John Cena's gonna be there.
Alright, so continue on with.
So then they announced that Io has taken the last place in the 4-way match. So next week,
we're getting that 4-way match.
It's gonna be
they've been building this for weeks.
The undefeated Bianca Belair
versus Io versus Mia Yim and Lacey Evans.
Well, we know Lacey Evans is not gonna win because she's getting called
up. Yeah.
I think it's Bianca Belair.
She's not getting called up.
I don't think Bianca Belair should win next week, but she definitely shouldn't get pinned. I think they should build that. They should really build her and Shayna Baszler. I really want to see her and Shayna Baszler. I want to see a big story with her and Baszler like collide because I don't know. I don't know what they're going with the undefeated streak. I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Streak versus title.
Maybe more of that. Yeah.
All right, so the next match is Heavy Machinery.
Oh, taki.
And they come out to squash some jobbers.
Yeah, that was fast as hell.
Yeah.
Like straight up, Dozovich could have looked like he could have just taken off themselves.
That match was all set up just for the Undisputed Era to stand at the top of the ramp and just look cool. That's all.
Undisputed Era comes out.
It looks so cool.
And they basically showed off with giving 2 compactors and then doing like a double compactor.
Oh, he carried picked
both
of them up,
and they did the double compactor for the pin.
Yeah, so
And with that match, Heavy Machinery hasn't lost a match in 6 months.
ooh,
That's good build.
okay, that's a good
Good
build.
one
6 months.
Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! Proper booking. I mean, even though NXT does have less things to work with, but still. Man.
NXT
There's
really
ways
never
around
had
it.
a booking problem.
There's ways to work over.
Besides Becky Lynch's debut character,
I think a lot of people did
which we did a Becky Lynch episode. Check it out.
It's one of our highest. That's one of our highest. One of our highest views.
Spotlight episode, yeah.
Yeah, spotlight episode. The battle, Ring of Honor just blows everything out the water.
But yeah, NXT booking is great.
Yeah.
So
are we going to the main
quick
event?
squash, the main event.
This is.
We've been wanting to see this match. You know, it's pre-tape, but we've been wanting to see this match for a while. Gargano
versus Aleister Black.
versus Aleister Black in a steel cage. Now, the first thing I noted was the cage looks small as hell.
Did it?
It looked shorter.
Really?
It was a little bit taller than the turnbuckle.
It looked more like the old school cage to me.
Yeah,
That's
short,
what I-
like a short
that's what I
old
liked.
school cage.
I thought these two had a really
I
hard
thought it
hitting
was
match,
pretty
but it kind of it sounded like the crowd wasn't into it. But at this time, they probably were. It's like the third and a half hour.
They definitely did a holy shit chant.
Yeah.
Shit.
There's
Because
a lot of holy shit moments in this match. This is a crap
Gargano
match.
and Aleister Black are fighting, standing on top of the ropes, climbing the cage,
Mhm.
and they're like punching each other. And Gargano like positions himself on like the left side of him,
Mhm.
punches him in the ribs. Aleister like goes like sticks
Oh,
out a
yeah.
little bit. He does like a sunset flip,
Yeah.
power bomb
Yeah.
off the cage.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
sick. Yeah, I remember that.
Everybody was like, "Oh!" I said, "Oh, holy shit!"
Yeah, there were a lot.
Holy
of
shit! Chant started like right after. I was like,
What about when Black's trying to hit a moonsault and he hits Gargano and hits his knees as well?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he landed straight on his knees. And he
That
actually
shit
got
really hurt.
he got surgery on that knee too. So, but I mean, he looked good. He finished the match really good.
They tied Gulak to the ring post and they're giving him
Just give him
chops.
chops. Good.
That deserves a woo for sure.
Woo! And with the shirt open. Woo! And it was really awesome. I mean, there's a lot of good spots in it.
So-
I wrote down that Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy must have been watching some Omega matches because
Big
they're running
news
knees.
coming out of this
They're
main
running.
event though.
Their running knees are sick.
Big news coming out this main event.
Oh, we're building to it. We're building to it. So, do you have any more spots, specific spots that you want to name before we get to like the climax of the match?
I like how Black almost kicks Johnny out of the cage, then pulls him back in, and they're like struggling.
Yeah,
That
there was.
shit was funny for me.
It's
Aleister
'cause
Black could've won the
Aleister Black
match.
is such a physically imposing person for like
He is.
going against
He
Gargano.
He hits V triggers. I don't. A lot of people do running knees, but I'll say Buddy Murphy and Aleister Black do V triggers.
Look at the spot right here.
Ooh! So they had Tozawa in a seat, in a rolling seat, and gentleman
That was
Jack
205
Gallagher,
we just covered,
they were
too.
pushing him in the seat while Drew Gulak came like a running drop kick. Oh
That
my
was
gosh.
Gallagher that hit that
Yeah, it was
drop.
a-
Oh my gosh, that was sick right
Wow.
there. That was a good spot right
Wow.
there. But
So-
Watch 205
watch
live.
205
Yeah.
live.
Watch 205
So
live.
the-
And that's why
Wait,
Focus covers 205 for us.
So I think are we entering the climax of this match?
wait.
Okay.
One more spot. Alistair went for a springboard, and out of nowhere, Johnny comes up, hits a springboard leg drop. Springboard leg sweep, and then into the Gargano escape.
I don't even remember that
yeah,
spot.
and then
Springboard leg sweep.
yo, when he caught him in the jargon on the Gargano
Wait.
escape.
Look, he was trying to do like a lasso, so Gargano basically ran up, did a springboard of himself, caught him in air, and did a Russian leg sweep.
Wow.
Yeah, it was sick.
Basically.
And he had him in.
Springboard Russian leg sweep.
He
Wow.
had him in a Gargano lock, and then like the Gargano escape.
I
and
missed that
he
part.
picked him up and threw him against the cage, and he bounced off and glopped it back in again. Like he never let go. It was ill. Like the way Aleister Black picked him up, threw him against the cage, and he fell down. And he still had it
I'm
locked
gonna
in.
have to rewatch that match.
Yeah, that's
And
that's a great match.
then
Alistair Black had almost had the match won.
I like when Johnny picked him up and tells Alistair, "Oh, you're absolved of your sins."
Oh yeah, and he goes for the black mass.
And then Alistair hits the black mass on him and shit. So
that was a sick part.
That basically leads to the finish. So I'll let you.
Was there another spot? No, I think Alistair Black had the match about to win. He climbs back in. They do a couple more spots, and then also all of a sudden Tommaso Ciampa comes from the back, and it's like it's the acting from an actor from Johnny Gargano was spot on, because like he's looking at Tommaso Ciampa, and it's like when he looks at Tommaso Ciampa, it's like he's almost like in this illusion, like he's like caught in like it's like a puppet master thing. He's like caught it on the strings because Tommaso Ciampa slowly starts waving his arms. And now Alistair Black happens to be in the middle of the ring, which obviously sets up for the whole DIY double knee
That's
strike.
set it up. So Alistair Black was crawling outside, and Johnny Gargano was climbing up outside the cage. So Tommaso comes out, slams the door on Alistair Black, and pushes him back into the ring and gets into the ring and closes the door. So then Johnny Gargano, as soon as he was already outside of the cage, climbing down. He sees what's going on. Mm-hmm. Instead of winning, he climbs up and Johnny comes right back in.
Goes back in,
and then
Tommaso on one end of the ring, Johnny on the other end, raises his arms into that old.
But it was the way they
DIY tag team move.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Super kick, knee to the back of the head. Alistair Black got done dirty.
And then right after that, like it was just like you under an illusion.
DIY. These guys were running rampant as faces as a tag team. Imagine them in this heel run that they got going on. Ooh. That was a crazy senton. He got air on that.
And so they hit the double knee on Alistair Black, and immediately Johnny is just like, what the hell am I doing? And then Tommaso Ciampa just slowly slides out the ring, smiles, and then he just does a little wave. He does a little wave, and then obviously he covers him for the 1, 2, 3. The acting, the storytelling. This has been Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano has been one of the best feuds in wrestling. Period.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Period.
Because that's definitely a rivalry that's been over a year now.
And then you see, you see Johnny Gargano go completely to the dark side, and then when he eventually does do the redeeming arc, and then all that, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah. I hope that redeeming arc and all that pans out in NXT.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind Gargano or Ciampa called up.
Tommaso Ciampa and Gargano can do the same exact rivalry they did in NXT and WWE. A lot, I hate to say it, even though I think NXT is one of the best things in wrestling, period. A lot of people don't watch NXT. A lot of people won't even know the story. And all the wrestlers, all the marks, we know it. And WWE can just kind of slightly tell the story just a little bit different, but pretty much just tell the same story, and we'll all love it. Just do this. Copy, paste, boom. Just like that.
That's it.
That's all you got to do in the main roster.
More of that.
More of that. That's all you got to do. Just copy, boom, do the same thing on the main roster with Ciampa and Gargano.
All right. That's it for NXT.
That's it for NXT.
So, you want to go to NXT UK?
Go to the UK. I actually didn't. I didn't see.
I didn't get to watch NXT.
Alright, so I did, but Tony Storm comes out when against to fight Charlie Morgan. It was a mediocre match. It didn't seem like Charlie didn't have some pretty much experience. Then Tony hits the Storm Zero for the win. Then you see a video for Gallus, which is basically the Coffee Brothers, and Wolfgang, which is basically the top heel faction in NXT UK right now.
Oh, I remember that faction. I remember that.
Yeah. So then next we have Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrew comes out.
Ooh, I'm a big fan of Mark Andrews.
And guess who they're facing?
Who?
James Drake and Zach Gibson and if you hate Gibson, shoes off. So anyways, so that match was a very fast match, and then it went back and forth. And, I like when Mark Andrews hits the double stunner on
it comes out of
James
nowhere.
Drake and Zach Gibson.
It comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, but he had both of them, so it was I like that. And then he tried to set up like a shooting star and press, but Zach grabbed him into an armbar to tap him out. And then Fabian, I forget his last name, beats up Mark after the match, and then Flash makes a save, and then throws Fabian outside of the ring and such. It seems like there's gonna be a feud with.
I mean, what they're building up to NXT Liverpool is January 12th, so I'm pretty sure they're setting up those. They're setting up the chess pieces for all that to happen with the NXT, the NXT UK title and the tag team.
I wonder how that's gonna work.
What do you mean?
So NXT has their own NXT UK has their own pay-per-view just by themselves.
Yeah.
I guess they schedule it.
It's not gonna be during like WrestleMania weekends or like it's not like a big thing.
I know the first one they're doing January 12th. Yeah.
That's it.
So. Gonna probably headlined by Pete Dunne, Tony Stone, Rhea
So they're
Ripley,
doing like 2 weeks before.
2 weeks before the Rumble.
The Rumble weekend where we have NXT.
Yeah, because we're about to go. Because we've gone through a little stretch without any pay-per-views. I mean, as often as WWE
for the first time in months.
First time in months.
We actually have a whole.
We need a break. We needed a break.
We have a whole month and like a half of build going on.
Yeah,
right now.
we needed a break.
So that was the whole week in wrestling.
Wait. UK, no, NXT UK still is going
on.
Okay. So the next match is Killer Kelly versus Nia Samuels. They both have never won an NXT UK match. But however, they both are very rounded in skills and such.
So somebody has to win.
So basically,
somebody has to
Nina hits a Death Valley driver on Kelly, hitting her head on her knee, and then gets the win. It was a right match. They're both pretty good. I could see them facing Rhea for the UK Championship and such. So then afterwards, we get a backstage interview with Fabian, who attacked Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster, and he said he's gonna find a partner to team up to take on the tag team titles.
Ooh.
Those are beautiful titles.
I'm pretty sure we spoiled.
Have you got a good look at those titles?
Yeah, those are nice. Very, very
beautiful
nice.
Titles.
All the UK titles are really nice.
Yeah, very great.
Yeah, I would get all those titles.
I like how they set it up. They had the guy run in and to set this up with the backstage interview.
Yeah.
Furthering the story, having a little bit great of booking status right there.
Well, I know. Yeah, like I said, the January 12th is the first UK pay-per-view, so I'll definitely make sure to be caught up on all that because I want to know the story.
Yeah, same.
I mean, we spoiled some of them weeks ago because they didn't announce them, but the story. I know Pete does. I mean, all title defenses, but who specifically we're going to be in it. We spoiled it weeks ago, and I don't even remember who we spoiled.
Well, that's why you go back
and look at the podcast. But anyway,
This Week in Wrestling Weekly.
Yeah.
So anyways, back to the main event of the NXT UK. We have Joe Coffey from Gallus, which is, like I said, the Coffey brothers, and Wolfgang. Comes out by himself to face Travis Banks. Ooh. Now, this is a huge blood feud as Joe Coffey injured the shoulder of Travis Banks. So, and Travis Banks been waiting for this one match to fight Joe Coffey in. And Joe, it has hard-hitting spots, back and forth. Joe basically targets Travis's healing shoulder the whole time. Joe Coffey hits the beat of the bells for the win. But when he hits the beat of the bells, Travis Banks kind of blocks it with his injured shoulder, and then you see him in pain, and then he hits it with the Joe Coffey does it again, and he got the win.
Nice.
It was a great NXT UK.
Later
you guys gotta watch NXT UK, watch NXT, watch 205 Live. They're all great shows.
All of them.
We do our best.
But for those who can't keep up, that's why we try to give you the best of all worlds.
Yeah.
We all try to cover different shows, make sure you guys are up to date as possible. Was that this week in wrestling?
That was this week in wrestling.
That was this week's in wrestling.
This is gimmick now. AJ, tell people where they can find you.
Well, you can find me at kayfabe AJ on IG. Also follow Kayfabe Ab Livecast on Twitter.
Kayfabe Focus on IG.
Yeah, you can find me at Richie Moon. You can find me at Kayfabe Ab Live Podcast. Kayfabe Ab Live Podcast on the Twitter. and Mr. Richie Moon on the gram.
Use the hashtag kayfabe avenue when discussing this, and you can add us at any time. I'll like, comment, subscribe.
So the next,
all of that.
the next week, we already gave you guys the spoilers for Raw and SmackDown, so we're not gonna cover most of that stuff next week. We're gonna give you guys end of year highlights. We're gonna give you guys Kayfabe Av Awards. We're gonna give you guys what we thought were the best matches of 2018. So this week in wrestling, next week's podcast is gonna be more of an end of year event. We're gonna talk everything 2018, the highlights, the highs, the lows, and we want you guys to actually give us input. So like, comment, subscribe, DM us on IG, answer on these comment boards, and just let us know, what do you think of the best matches of 2018? Who do you think are the best superstars? Who do you think had the best title defenses, title reigns? You know, let us know what you think. Maybe it'll contribute to the show. Maybe your match can be the top 5 match.
Maybe not.
Yeah, or maybe not.
Or maybe not.
Either way, let us know. Either way, please like, share, and subscribe. And remember, you can always find us at Kayfabe Av. And with that said, I shall bid you a farewell. Kenny,
take us home.
Take us home.